What's going on, everybody? Troy Berg here with Public Land Giants. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel so far. I've been doing really good here so far. Just started my channel up last spring during the shed hunt season, and I have quite a few videos posted so far. If you guys haven't checked out my 2020 bow kill, November 15th, you're going to want to see that hunt. It's an amazing hunt. Some rare footage of a buck coming in and beating up my dead buck after I shot him. Within seconds after shooting my buck, another one came in and started locking antlers with him. It was amazing. So if you guys would, go back, check out that video. And for now, we are going to get on to the next video, which is my 2020 muzzleloader kill buck. And I just want to kind of start off by talking a little bit how my season went. It started off very rough, as it normally does in North Iowa. It just seems like the hunting pressure on the public up here is getting worse and worse almost every year. And this particular piece of public I was going into, there's one food plot in there, and it seemed like about every night I just kept getting surrounded with people. And my brother was hunting another spot. He only had a bow tag, and he's got a family and kids, and I don't have no kids. I'm not married, so he doesn't get out as much as I do. Well, the shotgun seasons were going on, so he wasn't able to bow hunt, and I wasn't able to use my late muzzleloader tag, obviously. So in that time of year, we just do a lot of driving around, try to respot bucks and stuff. And during the shotgun seasons, we had been spotting one nice buck that we had named Hershey. And he was continuously getting out of his bed in these cattails on public ground. And it's not a very big piece of public. It was actually just small enough to where I think the shotgun hunters were just going right on by it. They weren't even bothering touching it. They weren't pushing it. Nobody was really hunting it. And we were seeing Hershey in there pretty continuously. Well, getting to the late muzzleloader season, my brother was going in there with his bow trying to kill Hershey while I was hunting this other piece of public, dealing with all kinds of people pressure. There was one particular night, you guys are going to see in the video, I had like 3 or 4 people set up within 200 yards of me covering this corn. And there was, looked like a younger kid with his little brother came in and set up about 150 yards from me. And I'm going to show that in the video. They actually shot at, looked to be like a 2 or a 3-year-old buck. And they missed him. They went and looked for the buck and then proceeded to walk around the rest of the night. And long story short, I finally ended up getting tired of this piece and started going to other pieces. Well, my brother had told me that he wasn't going to hunt one particular night, and I said, well, if you're not going to go hunt them cattails, I'm going to go hunt them cattails. And it was a night after work. I went in there, and it was about 3:30, and about 3:45, 4 o'clock, I was only in there for 15 minutes to maybe a half hour. I had a group of bucks stand up, and it was an awesome night, a night that I'll never forget. You guys stay tuned and watch what happens. What's going on, everybody? T-Killa here. Today is Christmas Day, December 25th. Iowa's late muzzleloader season. I've been hunting since the 21st and have yet to see a shooter buck. Yesterday we had blizzard-like conditions, got real nasty. That's kind of the reason why I hunt the late season, because when you have weather like that, it really drives these big bucks out of the woodwork. It was 25, 30 below with the wind chill yesterday. Today we are up to 19 degrees for high. It's probably about 15 degrees right now. about 5 degrees with the wind chill. Tonight I'm sitting over a cut bean field. It's got quite a few fresh tracks in it. We seen a couple of really nice bucks in here. Would have been the end of the bow season, the end of November. I'm really crossing my fingers that these couple of big bucks survived the first and second shotgun season. I'm pretty sure I know one of them did. He's a big, wide 9-pointer. There's another buck in here we call Hershey, and he got that name because he's just a big old huge, like a 150 to 160 inch, looks to be like a 10-pointer, but he got his name Hershey because for Iowa his rack is just chocolate, dark brown. That's the buck I really want. We got the kind of weather to bring him out of the woods, so you guys stay tuned, and I'll show you what I see like always. Thanks for watching, you guys. I do this all for you guys. I just love to show everybody my hunts. It's just something I've always dreamed of doing, and I'm starting to get pretty decent at it, so it's a little tough self-filming, but it's all worth it in the end when it comes together, you guys. So once again, thanks for watching my videos, and I'll keep bringing them to you. Wish me luck tonight. T-Killa, out.
just wanted to kind of let you guys know what happened. I didn't get, much of an interview, on the camera at the start of the hunt, and not much at the end, so I just wanted to kind of show you guys what it all turned out to be. And he's a dandy buck. We got him on trail camera, and just glad to have this deer. It's my best buck ever with the muzzleloader. Not quite as big as my best bow buck, but for some reason I kind of have a harder time getting on these big bucks with the muzzleloader during the late season. But I got lucky this year, and between me and my brother, we did a lot of homework and a lot of scouting and driving around during the shotgun seasons just to try to locate these nice bucks. And if it wouldn't have been for my brother and I seeing this buck in the cattails, we wouldn't have known he was there, and I probably wouldn't have hunted that spot. So it's just all about doing your homework, you guys. I mean, these kind of bucks, these big bucks, they do run around on public land. So shot him with my new Nitro Fire I just picked up this year. I love this gun. Takes an encapsulated powder charge instead of having a breech plug. It's just an awesome gun. No misfires, no having to worry about your powders getting wet. This capsule, this powder charge, is all waterproof. So sweet gun. Sweet deer season. This is the second buck I'm taking to the taxidermist this year. I'm actually going to cape him out here and take him to the taxidermist tomorrow. So what an awesome year, you guys. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned for the next hunt. See ya.
Alright, you guys, so you saw what happened. I had that big group of bucks get up and started making their way through the cattails. I think there was like 3 out of the 5 bucks were shooters, and the one of them being Hershey. And he was the first one to stand up, and when I saw him stand up, I'm going, oh my goodness, this is a nice buck. This is the buck that I'm in here for. I got the camera on him, and as soon as I got the camera on Hershey, it was like the other bucks just started getting up out of their beds. And I seen this other buck that got up. He was like one of the last ones to get up, and not knowing it at the time, but it turns out that this buck that I shot was a buck that my nephew had missed back on November 5th. And me and my brother were down in southern Iowa hunting public land on our rut vacation. And my nephew Garrett, he calls my brother and he says, Dad, I just missed the biggest buck ever, biggest buck of my life. And we never seen or got any pictures of the deer or anything after that. Didn't put 2 and 2 together that this was the same buck. But so anyways, I end up seeing him. He was bigger than Hershey. I chose to shoot that buck, and I shot him, and I wasn't sure on the hit, but I knew I hit him. You guys can hear the bullet smack him in the video. But instead, I just backed out. I went and got my brother and got Garrett and my brother's wife Kelly and my nephew Chase. We all went out there after dark. It had been about 2 to 3 hours, I suppose, had went by, and we tracked him. We tracked him for about 100 yards through the cattails that I shot him in, and the blood was very sparse. Wasn't looking real good. I ended up backing out that night, and I ended up leaving my orange hat. I took my orange hat off and I hung it on some cattails, and just to kind of give us a reference point on where to go back to the next day. Well, I had to work the next morning, and at work I gathered up a bunch of buddies and I said, hey, you guys, we need to go in there and we need to look for this deer. Anybody that can help would be much appreciated, because these cattails are thick. He could be laying in there anywhere. So I had like 6 or 7 buddies come with, and we all just kind of spread out, and me being the one to go to the last blood. And I had a buddy that was right next to me, and he says, "Troy, I got blood over here." We went over there, and there was blood, and probably 10 yards from that blood, 20 yards total from where we left off the night before, there laid my buck. So just wanted to kind of do a little recap on how things went down. I did have to work the next day, and I didn't film the recovery. I was just so worried about if we were even going to find this deer and these cattails, but we ended up finding him, and he was a dandy buck. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and like this video and subscribe, and if you haven't, go back and check out some of my previous videos. Thanks for watching Public Land Giants.